This video is sponsored by XTB, who are launching investment plans, which you'll find out more about later on in the video. What is going on, people? Today we're talking about whether finance careers, so banking, investing, trading, hedge funds, private equity, asset management, so on and so forth, are careers that will enable you to get rich. Alright, so as usual, I've got a few bullet points and I'm going to go through them. So first things first, you need to define what rich means to you. For some people, that might mean £10 million in liquid cash. For others, it might mean £5 million invested in a real estate portfolio. First things first, you need to define what does rich mean for you. Simple way to do this is understand or know what your annual expenses are. So how much do you typically spend each month? Times that by 12. And then let's say you're 20 years old watching this and you will live to about 80. So that's 60 years. So you need to account for 60 years of your annual expenses. So you would figure out your 1 year annual expense. For basic maths, let's say you spend £1,000 a month every single year on your living expenses, food, rent, travel, etc. So that will be 12 grand a year. So times 60 years. So 12 grand times 6 is going to be 72. Times 10 is £720,000. So as a 20-year-old, you're going to need 720 grand to cover your cost of living for the next 60 years. Let me just check if that's right. 720 over 60. Yeah, it's 12 grand a year. Realistically, as you get older, you're going to spend more. So let's say, let's say you're 30 and your average monthly living costs are about 2.5 grand, because that's a nice easy number. 2.5 grand times 10 is 25 grand, times 12 is 30 grand. So let's say you're 30 years old, your average annual living costs and expenses are £30,000. If you're 30 and you're going to die at 80, let's say, you need 50 years worth of money. So 50 years times 30 grand is going to be £1.5 million. So as a 30-year-old, you're going to need £1.5 million in the bank to live off at roughly 30 grand a year. So you're going to need 1.5 mil. That will just cover your basic living costs and expenses. So that's not necessarily to make you rich. So if I needed 1.5 million pounds to cover my living costs for the next 50 years, what figure would I feel comfortable having in the bank, or what figure would make me feel rich? Probably like £5 million in the bank or invested. So I need £5 million to be rich. Now this brings us back to our initial question of, will working in finance make me rich? So if I need £5 million to be rich, chances are, starting on a salary in finance at about 40 or 50k after I graduate, it's going to take a long time for me to get rich per se. Take a moment to do a basic calculation. How much are you spending each month right now? Times that by 12. So how much would you need each year to cover your living expenses? And then how much would you need over the next 50 or 60 years in the bank to cover all of those living expenses? And then ask yourself, what figure would make you feel rich if you had it in the bank? Usually it's like 3 or 4 times your living expenses covered for the next 50 or 60 years, and then carry on with the video. Whether you want to break into asset management, sales and trading, or investment banking, investing your money is always a good conversation starter when it comes to interviews or networking. As such, XTB, today's video sponsor, allow you to invest your savings in a smarter way. They've recently launched investment plans on their platform. Investment plans are innovative investment products that allow you to transform your cash savings into long-term investments with low risk. With an investment plan, you'll have the flexibility to create a personalized portfolio of exchange traded funds that align with your risk tolerance, industry preferences, or regional coverage, all for 0% commission and 0 management fees. The plan will then automatically allocate your invested capital to each ETF according to your designated percentage allocation. Some of the main features of investment plans include the following. Simplicity. So the intuitive interface of investment plans lets you easily build and manage your desired portfolio. Diversity. Over 350 ETFs to choose from give you the relevant diversity that you need across sectors and industries. Accessibility. Thanks to the low entry thresholds, you can start creating your own plans from a few pounds so that they meet your individual needs. If you want to start investing in a smarter way, be sure to hit the first link in the video description below and sign up to XTB today. With that, let's get back to the video. Alright, so truth is, working in any industry, regardless of whether it's in finance, consulting, whether it's in art, whether it's in software engineering, whether it's in marketing, advertising, etc. If you are in any of these industries, you can get rich, but not everyone in these industries will get rich from working in these careers. And the simple fact is, those who make it to the top of these industries are the ones who are making the most money. So you can be rich in any industry so long as you're the best or in the top 1% of individuals in those industries. The people in these industries that are crushing it, that are the 1%, that are making most of the money, These are the individuals that truly love, live, and breathe their careers. So for example, in the world of finance, everyone that works in finance isn't rich. Most people they earn above average salaries, but it's not enough to make them retire early. It's not enough to allow them to travel every other week. It's not enough to make them feel rich and feel like they've made it. And the truth is, those who are making the money that makes them rich in the world of finance, they're the 1%, and they live, love, and breathe finance day in, night. They go into the office, they thrive on it. They leave the office, they go home, they thrive on it. They think about it. They're thinking about work, basically, because to them, work, finance, isn't actually work. It's play. They really enjoy it. They love it. They live for it. So these are the individuals, because they love the topic of work that they focus on, they naturally become more knowledgeable and more insightful than most other people. When you have knowledge and insight more than everyone else, you tend to climb faster than everyone else. And so those are the people that make it to the top and get rich from finance. Although finance won't make every single person in the world of finance rich, it will give you a lot of other things. For example, if you work in the world of finance, you're going to be earning more than the average person, and that will afford you a better quality of life than most people. That will allow you to maybe get on the property ladder sooner than other people. It might allow you to own or finance a nicer car than other people. It might allow you to send your kids to private school. It might allow you to eat out more often, go on more holidays, etc., etc. All of these things combined raise or increase the quality of life and the standard of living that you have. And so having a finance or working in a finance career gives you these things. And so it goes back to your own definition of what rich means. If rich means living an above average quality of life compared to the average of the country you're in, then yeah, finance will make you rich. If it means buying and treating yourself to more materialistic luxuries, then a career in finance will afford you these things and enable you to live and enjoy those luxuries. If you want more than that, you're going to have to be patient. And that applies not just in finance, but any career. The people at the top, the 1%, they make most of the money, right? If you start out here, to get to the top, you're going to have to be patient. It takes years and years of hard work and graft and climbing the corporate ladder, or any ladder, whichever field you're in. Climbing that ladder takes lots of time. It's going to take at least 10 years to make a significant sum of money, especially in the world of finance. So your first 10 years, you're not going to get rich. If you really want to take a shot at getting rich, it's going to happen after your 10th year in the industry. If you're really good, you've made it to the right senior level, and even then most people don't. And you're going to have the experience, the knowledge, the insight, all the things that will enable you to demand a higher paycheck or equity or bonus that will unlock doors to you that you might not have seen before, i.e. riches. Don't get it twisted. Earning lots of money sounds good, but it does come with a few downsides. So curse number one, the more you climb, the more you earn, the more you are going to be locked in. The more responsibility you have and the more you are tied to the firm in question. So a lot of your bonus or your payments aren't going to be straight up cash payments. They're going to be paid with equity. Equity, so ownership in the company that you work for, that you can only unlock if you stay there for another few years. So they might say to you, here's a ton of money. You get access to this if you work for us for another 2 years. And then when you've done those 2 years, you unlock that pot of money. And then they give you another pot that vests or unlocks in another 2 years. And so you kind of get locked in. So you can never really leave. If you do leave and quit and retire, you're going to be giving up a significant amount of money, which you probably might not want to do. Also, if you are earning more, you're naturally going to be paying more in taxes. So this is why when you're an employee, if you work for a company, if you're in the world of finance, you're always going to be an employee to the company, right? And so employees get hit with tax the most, whereas wealthy individuals, true wealth, true rich individuals, they have businesses, they have companies, they set up businesses and organizations and structures. This you can't do as an individual who is an employee working for a finance firm. So although you might have tons of money, you're going to be hit hard with the tax implications versus if you were a businessman or woman or an entrepreneur who has a company structure that benefits you and your taxes. So back to the question, does working in the world of finance make you rich? Truth is, it will make less than 1% of you watching this video rich. And for the rest of you, it will give you a higher standard of living and a good average annual income, but it's not going to make you rich.